And turning now to the Fox 4 Weather Center, we start with the latest again on the tropics. So just want to keep you abreast of Hurricane Lee, a Category 1 hurricane, but an expansive system. And you can certainly tell that it is beginning to undergo that transition from a warm core tropical cyclone over to a cold core extratropical cyclone as it continues to work its way northward. The biggest takeaway from that is that the wind field is just massive. We're talking about tropical storm force winds that extend about 345 miles from the storm center. So right now, Bermuda dealing with those tropical storm conditions, dangerous surf, dangerous rip currents there. But again, sustained winds in the center of the storm now down to 85 miles per hour. But there you go. This is good perspective of just how far that wind field extends from the center of circulation. So as we put this into motion, stepping it toward 8 p.m. tomorrow evening, that's when those tropical storm force winds are expected there for Nantucket, and then overspreading parts of coastal Massachusetts, coastal New Hampshire, especially coastal Maine through the day on Saturday. That's where the worst of the wind is expected, and then certainly across Nova Scotia as well as New Brunswick into the Canadian Maritimes. So we'll continue to monitor that. But one thing I also want to point out, we do have those tropical storm warnings now in effect. This is Westport, Massachusetts. It no longer includes, by the way, there was a watch earlier for coastal Rhode Island. That's no longer in effect. So from Westport, Massachusetts, the entire coastline of Massachusetts, the coastline of New Hampshire, the coastline of Maine to the Canadian border, that's where tropical storm warnings are in effect until further notice. And also some good news, no longer concerned so much about dangerous storm surge. We're going to see some coastal flooding there for New England, but it will be manageable. As a matter of fact, National Hurricane Center has canceled the storm surge watches that were in effect earlier. So for now, for our friends up in New England, storm surge of 1 to 3 feet are a possibility. And of course, we're still monitoring Margot. Margot, though, is just going to be spinning around itself well to the west of the Azores. And then we have a new wave of energy likely to become Nigel here in the next 12 to 24 hours. But as we put those models into motion for Nigel, it does look like it will not be a threat to the Sunshine State. Let's take a live look outside right now. Speaking of sunshine, it is picture perfect here from the Tarpon Lodge. Beautiful Pine Island showing off nice dry conditions right along the coastline. You have to head farther inland to deal with any downpours. So heads up there, parts of Hendry County as well as northern Collier seeing some of those areas of heavy rain. Also inland glades right here close to Moorhaven. We continue to monitor some areas of heavier pockets, but they are pretty isolated from Immokalee to Ave Maria as well as Harker. Still right along Immokalee Road, seeing those pockets of heavier rain. So isolated storms in the mix inland for the next couple of hours, dying out after sunset, heading into tomorrow. First half of tomorrow featuring lots of sunshine, but for the afternoon, be sure to have that rain gear close. Your rain probability is going up starting tomorrow afternoon to 60%, and it does look like they will stay high through the weekend. So at the bus stop, sunshine 78. Heading home, make sure you have that rain gear close. Make sure the kiddos have that rain gear as well. And also the opportunity for afternoon storms expected for your Saturday and Sunday.